Hello, everyone, and welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 161, I think. Let me double check that. 161, yes. Andrew Eisen here. Zachary, if for those of you who don't know, is having moved and was supposed to have internet, but they lied to him, and he has no internet, so he'll probably be missing for quite a while. But you've got me in the meantime, and it was 87 degrees in my apartment. I turned on my little air conditioner and it's down to 83 now, but it's still warm. Very, very warm. So, first thing, let's talk about the Dark Crystal. So, those of you who follow my YouTube channel know that I did a debut review for the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. And I thought it was alright. And I'd watch episode 2. My biggest issues with the first episode were it dragged a little bit. I think it was a combination of it dragged a little bit, and also it's hot and I'm uncomfortable and miserable, so that wasn't improving my mood any. But I watched episode 2 and it was better, and I watched episode 3 and it was even better, and so on and so forth, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. And then they got to the last episode and it kind of had the same pacing problems that the first episode did. There's a lot of everyone standing around in the last episode just waiting for the final confrontation to happen. But still, overall, very good series. I really liked it and hope that they make more. Looked expensive too. A couple things I didn't really care for. Let's see. I didn't care for the forced Ryan or Rian or whatever his name is mooning over Deet. Didn't need that. I mean, his love just got eaten at the beginning of the show. He's like hopping on to the next one real quick. And it doesn't go anywhere anyway. He just makes goo goo eyes at her. And they keep doing the thing where he looks at her longingly, and then Hub, the pod person, whatever they're called, looks at him and is like, oh, I don't have a shot with Deet. And then they do the exact same thing again in the exact same scene. I'm like, and Hob just kind of drops out of the show by the end. Oh well. Also, the lore doesn't totally line up, but I don't care that much, and it lines up better by the end of the show than it did at the beginning. So I imagine they're still telling stories. Anyway, characters are pretty darn good. The do I want to know what's a bad show, Snake? Sure, tell me what a bad show is. Characters are pretty darn good. The effects are the CG is a little CG, but the puppetry is almost uniformly excellent. There's one really bad puppet, and a couple of the performances are a little stiff. I'm not sure if it was a difference between puppeteers or that's just the stuff they shot first, and it took them a while to get into the groove. Gotham. Oh yeah, I haven't watched that. Um, but yeah, I was just. I'm a fan of anything handcrafted, so I like stop motion animation and stuff like that. Um, so I can just watch it from that perspective and be entertained. In every establishing shot, there's just some gross, weird little critter running around, and just the imagination on display is something I really enjoy. Um, so yeah, kudos to Dark Crystal. I quite liked it. Pardon me, I'm belching. So Um, Earlier this week, I bought a game on PC uh, because one of my patrons on Patreon, uh, supported me at a level that allowed him to pick a video, and he wanted a video game Let's Play, so I got the game, and I turned it on to try it out, and the damn thing had 5 or 6 ads front loaded. That made me very angry because this was not a free to play game, this was a game that retails for $30. Don't put ads in your $30 game. Do not advertise at me in a game I already gave you money for. I tell you, if this game was not for a Patreon reward, I would have returned it. Because I don't put up with that crap. As it stands, I can't tell you what game it is, because it's a surprise. Probably be later this month. But I will probably never buy anything from this company again. I'm not putting up with that crap. You do not do that. Now, it's okay to inform your customer that there's DLC available, but you don't make them. It's like, no, you can't play the game until you scroll through all 5 or 6 ads. There's a DLC. It's like, great. Next, there's another DLC. Great. Next, there's a multiplayer. I don't care. Next, there's an exclusive thing for Steam. I don't care. Don't ever do that. Hi, I'm Andrew. Do you make games? Don't ever do that. It's bad, and we don't like it. Hey, TriLink. Let me scroll this. What if the patron was a dev and this was just a very clever way of shilling? I mean, it's fine. This person, Brian, supports me at a ludicrous amount every month, so if he wants to spend $100 and whatever dollars a year, $120 a year for me to buy a $30 game from him, okay. You got me. So I played the first little bit of the game just to get used to it. Looks like it's going to be a cool game, so I think it'll be a fun little Let's Play. So I also bought another game on PC because it was there was a sale at Humble Bundle. That's a game I'd had my eye on for years. What the hell is it called? Enchanted, Escape, Enslaved, Journey to the West, Odyssey to the West. One of those. Looked fun. Heard some good things about it. Didn't sell great, but it looked fun. I think it was on sale for like $8 or something like that. So I bought it, and I checked its Steam page. It said full controller support, and I had that game with the ads worked with my controller. The last game I played, Donut County, worked. Not that one. That's a mouse game. Anyway, the last game I played worked with the controller. This game, Enslaved Journey to the East, or whatever it's called, does not work with the controller. So I put in a refund request, because I sure as hell am not playing an action platformer with mouse and keyboard. And talking with some folks on Twitter, they recommended I try a third-party program that, long story short, it worked. Now I can use my controller to play this game. Even though other games work just fine without this third-party application. And this, my friends, this specific thing here is why I hate PC gaming. I hate PC gaming. I hate it. I don't hate you if you're a PC gamer. I understand why PC gamers like PC gaming. It's kind of like cat people and dog people. The reason you're a cat person is the same reason the dog people are dog people. Like, what you like about cats is what dog people hate about them. Same thing with PC and console. The stuff you like about console is what I utterly despise. I can't stand having to worry about do I need to tweak settings? Do I need to get some other piece of software? Is the controller going to work? Do I need a new uh, driver for something? Is it going to run on my system? On and on and on. With a console, you buy a game, you plug it in. Nowadays, you're probably going to have to sit there for 5 hours while it downloads a 32 gig patch, but it works. I play a PS4 game, I know the PS4 controller is going to work. I know the PS4 is going to play the PS4 game. I don't have to worry about controller compatibility or driver compatibility or if it's going to work. It just works. I like the convenience. Now, what PC gamers tend to like the malleability of PC gaming, how you can swap different pieces in and out, you can tinker with all kinds of settings, you can mod stuff. They love it. I hate that. Hate it. Utterly despise it. So, yeah, it wasn't having a good week for PC gaming. It just works, Andrew 2019. Try to. I've always preferred console games to PC games, but with certain genres you can't really console control them well, looking at you, RTS. Most of them, yeah. I mean, some of them that are developed specifically for console work pretty well, although they're not exactly the same experience you're thinking of. Like, yeah, Pikmin is an RTS, but it's not really the Civilization or even the Sims, and I mean, Sims, SimCity, all of those type of things. Some games really do need mouse and keyboard, like Donut County, for example. That would work fine on like a mobile touchscreen. Works fine with mouse. That'd be not as fun with a controller. Pardon me, I think. But most games for me work just fine on a controller. For example, I prefer to play first-person shooters on a controller as opposed to keyboard and mouse. Now, point-and-click adventures, I prefer mouse. Puzzle games, for the most part, probably going to prefer a mouse. But anyway, long story short, just don't put ads in your full retail game, you jerk. Jerk. Stupid jerks. Alright, isn't the Switch Pro controller compatible with Steam now? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, the PS4 is mostly compatible. I mean, it was compatible with most everything, except I had to get a third-party app to get it to work with Enslaved Odyssey to the West, which is annoying. Oh well. Alright. Let's talk Nintendo. So, Nintendo had an interesting little video this week, which didn't show any gameplay, but showed a bunch of people playing with a Pilates ring that Nintendo had duct taped the one of the Joy-Con controllers to, the one with the IR camera in it, and then strapped the other one to your thigh. So it's kind of like Wii Fit, it looks like an exercise game of some sort. But what I found particularly interesting is that I have read coverage of this in 7 or 8 different major entertainment websites. Not a single one of them, not a single one of them recognized a Pilates ring. They're like, Nintendo invented a wheel of some sort that seems to have resistance when you squeeze it. I'm like, oh my god, do none of you people ever go to a gym at all? Ever? How does no one know what a Pilates ring is? I mean, that's kind of like watching the Labo commercial and thinking Nintendo invented cardboard. No, it's not even remotely like that, but I'm genuinely surprised that I've seen literally 0 people online in the entertainment news space. There's got to be a few somewhere, I just missed them, but I've seen absolutely nobody recognize a Pilates ring. This is literally a common, very standard piece of exercise equipment that you can pick up in the sports department in any department store, Target, Walmart, Kmart. You don't have to go to like Big Five or any specific athletics store. Any department store has a $15 Pilates ring. Of course, Nintendo's probably going to sell this for $80. So, I hope that this is. I was thinking about it, I'm like, this looks like 1-2 Switch. But I was thinking, because we look at it and we think, well, it's probably going to have the Wii Fit trainer uh, guiding people through various yoga and Pilates exercises, and probably a handful of mini games like steer something, or, you know, squeeze the cat until it farts. I don't know. um, it is so hot in here. I'm sorry, I'm just toweling off all the time because it's just ungodly hot. Um, so I think a lot of us imagine that's probably what the software is. But I was thinking, you know what? What if this was like the new WarioWare game? What if it's like Get Fit with Wario? And all of the wacky actions you use with the Pilates ring is Wario in his too tight workout gear, uh, walking you through Pilates and various mini games. That could be great. Um, I have a feeling it's not going to be that, but that would be cool. Hopefully, it's something interesting. And if it is, and it comes out before the Extra Life charity event, maybe I'll pick it up and we'll play that instead of Just Dance in the middle of the night when my sister and I start getting really tired. Could be fun. Could be fun. Um, is that quality of life thing that Nintendo has been touting for years? Perhaps. Um, Again, I am just gobsmacked that I didn't see anybody go, I've seen that squishy resistance ring thing. I mean, no one even referred to it as that weird squishy resistance ring thing you see in gyms occasionally. Everyone referred to it as this weird wheel thing. It's a Pilates ring. It is super common. Unless you never, ever go to the gym or do any workout classes at all, which yeah, it's okay if you don't. You know, some of us like to exercise by ourselves. You know, go running. You don't have to go to the gym. It's fine. But I just find it really surprising that I didn't see a single person, not a single one, recognize that as just a $15 Pilates ring that Nintendo duct taped a Wii remote to. Here's looking forward to it. I hope it's cool. I mean, Labo is overpriced, but it's still pretty cool. Although it is interesting that the new Nintendo Switch Lite won't work with it because it doesn't have detachable Joy-Cons. You'll have to buy another set of Joy-Cons if you want to play Get Fit with Wario or whatever it ends up being. Kind of an odd choice, you know, the Wii Fit Lite. Nintendo really doesn't want you to buy that. They want you to buy the more expensive one. They're like, yeah, you know, there's the cheaper version, but you know, the more expensive one has a better battery life. We improved the battery life. It's got better battery life. Oh, and you can use the Labo VR thing. Can't do that with the cheap one. Oh, and this new exercise wheel thing. Yeah, can't you can use it, but you'd have to spend $80 or whatever it is for a new set of Joy-Con, $50, $60, whatever it is, for a new set of Joy-Con if you don't have any already. We'll see, we'll see. So, Monster Hunter Iceborne is very, very good, and I'm very, very liking it, and I've probably put like 15 hours in it since yesterday. I was up until almost 6 a.m. this morning playing. I was going to go to the gym like I do most Saturday mornings, but I did not go into the gym on an hour's sleep. And then I got up at noon and played some more, and it's very, very good. And by the way, if you're a YouTuber, please, the game has been out for a day. Don't put spoilers in your video title and thumbnails. Don't be a jerk. Don't do that. It's been out for a day. I know you've had it for several days or a week or however long you've had it because you got it early because you're a reviewer. But it's okay to post a video about the final encounter, the last boss in the game. Monster Hunter World Iceborne, last boss. Thumbnail, big question mark. That's what you do when the game's only been out for a day. Don't be a jerk. Just don't be a jerk. Is that too much? Don't be a jerk. Just don't. Are you thinking about being a jerk? Okay, don't. The clutch claw is fun, says Otritsu. I don't use it much because I suck at it, which means I never get good at it. I can't hit the broadside of a barn with the damn thing. And I'm a charge blade user, arguably one of the most technical weapon in the game, and I can't use the little clutch claw very well. There's a lot of really great things in there. What's interesting is the version update for Monster Hunter World hit Thursday. The game came out Friday night. And, I'm sorry, Thursday night. Yeah. So Wednesday. It was a 32 gig download. I'm like, oh, you're just downloading all of Iceborne whether you're buying it or not. And they're doing that for compatibility purposes so that, everyone, even people who don't own Iceborne, can play with those who do. I don't know if you don't own Iceborne, can you go hunt a Bambaro with... I don't know. I would think no, but I don't know. So anyway, I was going to play it a little bit on Wednesday night, Thursday night, something like that, but, 5 hours of downloading. I'm like, I don't have time for this. It's going to be till 2 in the morning till it's done. And, but at least when I came home Thursday night, I just bought the game and immediately started playing. That was nice, because usually you buy a digital game and it's like, well, I guess I'll download it for a couple hours while I eat dinner, go grocery shopping, shower, whatever. So Iceborne, it's a lot of fun. Even though I've been playing it for like 15 hours, I'm one of those gamers who does all the side quests. I played like 30 some hours of Xenoblade Chronicles, and only ever got as far as the little Popo village because I insisted on doing every single side quest as they came up. So it took me forever to get there. And that's barely a third into the game. Same thing with Monster Hunter World. 15 hours, I've fought the Beatotus, which is the tutorial monster, which I beat first try. With my high rank gear. That's right, I kicked the ass of the tutorial monster. I'm very proud. Bombero, which is the big moose, and Viper Tobikadachi, which is the Tobikadachi subspecies for the game. So hot. But I've been doing a lot. After the first quest or so, you open up like 2 pages of optional quests. I'm like, okay. There's also a bunch of things everyone gives you a little quest to do. So I've fought Beatotus and Bombero several times, and there's you can ride the small monsters like the Popo and the Mosswine Pig, and you just walk up to them, and there's a prompt. I'm like, wait, is that the carve prompt? They're not dead. And I pressed it, and my characters crawled on. I was like, wee! And I'm like, oh, this game is great. There's a new photo mode, which I knew was in the game, but what I didn't know is that the Linian researcher gives you quests to go out into the wild and photograph the Grimalkin, the little usually the wild feline clans, doing various animations like fighting each other or giving a look of surprise, and so you have to wander around and take a picture at the right time, and you get graded on if your character's in frame, if they've got the right perspective. I'm like, I did not expect that, but I kind of love that. Anbury, Anbury, I hope that's correct, says, yeah, I don't like having quests in the backlog. I know, I feel bad. It's like I can't move on to Master Rank Level 2 with all of these optional quests littering my backlog. I must do them all. I haven't even, and man, I have like a humongous list of Master Rank armors. I think I've made like three, two or three pieces of Master Rank armor, and so far that's been enough. I really need to sit down and look at the list, see what skills I want, and because I ended Monster Hunter World with, I think, the Death Stench armor, mainly just because I like the name. Uh, and so I was wearing that coming into Iceborne. And then I think I have like the Master Rank Dodo Gamma legs. I think I have the that like giant feral weasel out in the hoarfrost where it's the Wolg. Um, its headgear is basically a scarf. Um, so I'm wearing that. I think the Dodo Gamma legs, and I think what chest piece? I have a different. I think I have the Master Rank Jagras chest piece. Um, and so far that's been plenty of defense for me. I'm not really a great Monster Hunter player. In fact, I'm probably below average. If you want to go watch my Leslie and Bob series on YouTube, I'm not very good, but I can get it done. Most of the monsters are still, their major attacks will take about half my health bar off. Um, so that's fine. Most of the monsters at this point in the game are fairly slow, or at the very least have very noticeable um, tells. You know, their attacks don't come out like super quick. They're not like ha ha ha. You know, they're like ha ha. And well, by that time you've moved to a different area. Later on, we're gonna get super fast monsters. Like I know T-Rex is in there. Um, Barioth is in there. Those dudes are very fast, and their attacks come out very quickly. So I'll probably have to upgrade my armor so I don't get killed. Um, Monster Hunter is fun because you just don't get hit. That's the secret to Monster Hunter. You see, when a monster attacks, get out of the way, or block if you're cheap and you use something with a shield like I do. Because the great thing about the Charge Blade is you can block nearly everything with the shield, although I rarely do because I'm a bad gamer. It's like, Andrew, you have a shield. Why are you not using the shield? Um, hang on, let me... Yeah, stream's still working. But I'm getting better. So Charge Blade's pretty great because you can block most everything even if you don't have the guard skill. You just get pushed back a ways, but you don't lose any health. You just lose a bunch of stamina. If you charge up your shield, which you should be doing, and then you do a guard point, which depending on which is pretty easy to do. The timing is not really strict. It's a lot easier to guard point than it is to dodge through an attack unless you have evade or one of those skills. Especially when something's charging you, because you can see it coming, and you just hold the shield out, and you're like, okay, here it comes. And if you have a charged shield, you can actually do a little bit of damage. And there's something pretty satisfying about guard pointing a charging monster and knocking it on its ass. Monster Hunter's great. Amber says, yes, the great secret to not taking any damage is to not get hit. It's really all there is to it. You can play the whole game in your underwear. You're not going to have very good skills. Speaking of which, how come there is... One thing... I'm jumping topics real quick. You can play the game in your underwear. If you don't get hit, you're fine. That's the interesting thing about Monster Hunter is your character never gets any better. Your character never gets any stronger. You just put on better armor and use better weapons. So your character, him or herself, does not have a personal attack or defense value. It's all based on what they're wearing. So if you wander around in your shorts, you're going to have no defense, but you'll also not have any of the necessary skills. And the high rank monster, or I'm sorry, the master rank monsters are kind of damage spongy. I'm averaging probably about 20 to 25 minutes each fight. So I think what the game, the early master rank weapons are not really that much more powerful. I think what the game really wants you to do is use skills like attack up and elemental attack and critical boost and all those to really buff out and you know, use mega demon drugs and stuff like that to to really put the hurt on the monsters. But what I was saying, one of the neat things about the armor sets is they have a few outfits that are layered armor sets, which you can wear whatever armor set you want and get those skills, and then put a layered armor set over it, which is just for aesthetic purposes. So, of course, the Wiggler head that you see all the time, there's actually an armor piece, but there's a layered armor piece where you can wear it all the time. There's a cat head. There's some glasses, which I think my character's wearing right now, mainly because I have them, and why the hell not? I'm wondering why they don't have an underwear layered armor. You know, so that you can have your armor set, so you have the defense and you have your skills, but you can still run around in your underwear. I also am a little bothered by the fact that there's a hot spring in your room and the gathering hub and a foot bath, and when you sit in them, you can change your armor to kind of an underclothing, like a swimsuit almost, that you would use to sit in a steam room or a hot spring. But the minute you stand up, your armor comes back on. It's like, I just wanted to move over there, and I want to wander around in my skivvies. Otritsu says the chakra set, it's not in World yet. I don't know what the chakra set is. Let me Google. Monster Hunter World chakra set. Sure that's how it's spelled? Well, let me not say Monster Hunter World. Oh, it's a Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate? I have Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. How do I not remember this? Why is there no picture? This website sucks. Okay, this one says Monster Hunter Gen, which I haven't played. 4 Ultimate, which I haven't played. I'm seeing no pictures. Skills, there's no skill. All these wikis suck. Oh well, tell me in the chat what it is. It's basically skivvies with 15 slots. Okay, so no skills, but you can gem in whatever skills you want, so you can run around in your underwear. That's fun. That that's a good compromise. Actually, I kind of like that. They're also just I love the sense of humor in Monster Hunter World. Some of the armors are just armor sets and really cool, and some of them are just goofy as hell. Like there's this new Steamworks mini game where it says, hey, uh, 3 buttons on the controller, A, B, and C. What order do you think they're in? It's like, I'm thinking of, take the numbers 1, 2, and 3. I'm thinking of a specific order of those 3 numbers. Tell me what order I'm thinking of. Is it 1, 2, and 3? Is it 2, 1, 3, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 1, 2? It's a guessing game, which I suck at, but basically you just the more you get right, the more little rewards that you earn. It's a cute little thing, and the cutscenes are adorable. But it allows you to craft the pieces you get allow you to get a Steamworks armor set, which is really neat. Some of the little side quests give you and your Palico buddy some really interesting armors. Like my Palico got, I forget what it's for, but he looks like a little UFO, a little flying saucer, and he's literally floating on the ground. Oh, it's so funny. Um, anyway, Monster Hunter World is Monster Hunter in general is a game that's genuinely not for everybody. It's I don't know anybody who is just like Monster Hunter. It's okay. Yeah, I played it. I thought it was all right. People either seem to just really love the game or are not into it at all. And if you're not into it, you're not doing anything wrong. It takes a very specific mindset to really like this kind of game. You might hear the phrase "for the love of the grind." It can be pretty grindy. I mean, I've been playing 15 hours, and I've only fought 3 new monsters, one of which is a subspecies, but he is pretty different. Um, the interesting thing, another thing that just popped into my head, there's a YouTube channel called Team Darkside, and they do Monster Hunter videos. And they have a series called Monster Hunter Gone Wrong, and it's basically a collection of clips of people playing Monster Hunter and just funny things happening. A lot of times it'll be like the monsters get stuck in an animation loop, like they'll just be walking against a wall, and you're like, "You okay there, buddy?" you know. But I was watching an episode of that today while I was eating lunch, and I was laughing hard enough to get tears rolling down my cheeks. And I was thinking, you know what? This is very specific humor because what I'm watching at and laughing my ass off over, someone who's not played Monster Hunter would look and go, I don't get what you're laughing at. It's what's great about the Monster Hunter Gone Wrong series is it's essentially an inside joke for Monster Hunter players. You watch it and you're like, yeah, we've all been there. One of my favorite clips was someone had a like a Radabon or Basel Goose. It was Basel Goose sleeping, and they had a charge blade, and they walk around the monster, and they get ready to do the super amped element discharge attack, and a Vespoid comes up and goes poke. They're ah, and they get uh, paralyzed. And it's like, and I was dying laughing, and it occurred to me that someone else watching that would not understand what they were seeing. Um, but man, that just had me rolling. Uh, Ambery says the grind is worth it when you get your good sets. There's a delicate there's a craft to balancing the grind. Uh, Typically, I think mo, I think you can build a full armor set. Usually, you wouldn't have to fight a single monster more than like 5 times to build an entire armor set. Um, that's okay with me. I don't mind that. Um, but sometimes, but having to grind the same monster like 50 or 100 times, that's absurd to me. And some of the end game for Monster Hunter World was just super grindy like that, especially with all the Streamstone stuff. That wasn't for me. Uh, but I've had very little problem with things like plates and gems. Uh, if I fight a monster a couple times, usually I'll end up with at least one plate or one gem. And most armor sets don't require more than like a plate or a gem. You'll usually need like 2 of them if you want to build the weapon too. But of course, a lot of people run a bunch of weapons, so they might need several plates or several gems or several the very rare material, and that can be, I imagine, an irritant. But I when I play Monster Hunter, I main a weapon. In World, I'm maining Charge Blade. I was thinking about doing a new weapon for Iceborne, but they made enough changes to the Charge Blade that I just wanted to stick with it. I also thought, I should probably work on playing Charge Blade correctly. Use the shield and guard pointing more. Um, so I've been in my 15 hours with Iceborne. I've been I think I've been doing a little bit better with deliberate guard points and blocking, and just better technical performance at using the charge blade. So so very good game. Very 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 happy with it. And the expansion is only $40. So that seems fair to me. I don't know. I do hope there are more new monsters in store, because I only know about Bombero. I'm not going to spoil anything here. There's Bombero, which is the big moose monster, who's awesome. Beotodus, who's the snow shark. He's not officially a subspecies, but in the same way that Levisioth is very similar to Geotodus, so is Beotodus. They're all like I'll grant that Rathian and Rathalos are two different monsters. Kind of, they're very similar. Um, it's that kind of thing. It's like, okay, they're not subspecies; they're cousins. But I don't really consider it. It's tough. Beotodus is definitely distinct from Beotodus and Levisioth, or Giratodus and Levisioth. But anyway, you've got Bambara, the big moose monster, who's definitely new. You've got Valkana, the ice dragon, who's the poster monster, marquee monster. You've got Namely or something, which was that colorful rainbow monster that Capcom announced a while back, or like a week or two ago. So that's 3. And I know there's going to be one endgame monster that's new because people are spoiling it with their damn uh, YouTube video thumbnails. So that's 4. But some of the subspecies like the Viper Tobikadachi and the especially the Coral Pukapuke, they're different enough to make them engaging. And a lot of the new to Monster Hunter World monsters are from old games, like Brachydios and Zinogre and Barioth, Tigrex. So if you haven't played those games, they're new to you. Otritsu says the gold tickets really help with the plate gem requirements. Oh, that's a good point. For those that don't know, you can, to avoid the grind, you can spend some of the resources that you get elsewhere to make some of the more rare materials. So every week, Monster Hunter has like special quests, and if you complete them all, you get a gold Wyverian ticket or something like that, and you can trade those in for a monster gem or a plate. So you have to work for them, but if you've been beating your head against Basil Goose trying to get a gem or plate, I don't remember if Bagel has a plate, but you can just say, you know what, I don't want to spend several hours grinding. I just need this one plate. I've got 15 gold Wyverian tickets. I'll just make a plate. It's good. I'm good. That's nice, I think. The game is a lot more considerate than past Monster Hunter games have been. Some of the older games, even as I did not play 4 or Gen, but I played 3 and 3 Ultimate, or Try and 3 Ultimate, and some of the things in there had really low drop rates, like 1% drop rates. Like if you got like Rathalos plates had something like 3% drop rates, and that you could only carve them from the tail. So you'd have a lot of people joked about doing plate runs. Plate runs was a thing. You do a Rathalos quest. Everyone would flash bomb Wrath out of the air, just swarm it like a pack of locusts on the tail, just start beating on the tail until the tail comes off. Everyone carves the tail and then immediately quits the quest. Like, got it. And poor Rathalos is standing there. It's like with a bloody stump tail, and be like, dude, not cool. Not cool at all. So, there are. One of the cool things about Monster Hunter World is there's a phrase for this, emergent storytelling. Not exactly the phrase I was thinking of, but it's similar. It gets my point across. It's like fishing stories. Oh, I was in the boat and I was fighting this thing, and I got caught on a thing and I nearly tipped my boat over and it was this big. You end up with these funny war stories, or just you talk to people like you were there, and I have my stories too. I remember back in Try, I was going on a gathering quest, because in the game you don't just beat the snot out of monsters. You need to wander around the wilderness and pick up bugs and sticks and rocks and things to make other, to help make traps and healing potions and stuff like that you take on a quest. So occasionally you don't go on a hunt. Occasionally you go out into the wilderness just to gather materials. Grab bones out of bone piles, mine for ore, use your bug net to catch bugs, all that great stuff. There are certain skills that make gathering more efficient. There's a skill that makes you gather more quickly. There's a skill that will increase the yield. So instead of just pulling 3 pieces of ore out of a single mining point, you might pull 4. Things like that. So in Monster Hunter Try, I had a specific gathering set. Defense was not good at all, but it wasn't for fighting monsters. It was for gathering items. You know, I had speed gather, pro transporter, whatever the one that yields more from gathering points, botanist or something like that. They change the names in every game, so I can't remember. Um, it was a great set. It made gathering fine, but so I'm out in the middle of a zone somewhere, and I'm on my hands and knees gathering at a bug pile or a bone pile or something like that. And all the way on the other end of the zone walks in a great Jagras with his pack of Jaggies. And he looks around and he sees me over there on my hands and knees, my face in the dirt, gathering bugs. And he's like, "There's that son of a bitch! Get him!" I'm like, "Oh no! Run!" Oh, it's funny. It's amazing how much personality you read into these monsters, because a lot of times if you're not looking to fight, you'll be like, "Go away, go away. You don't see me. Just keep walking." But I'm just on the other side of the map, minding my own damn business, and the great Jaggy's like, "There he is! I remember you, you jerk!" Came all the way over the other side of the map just to pick a fight. I had to run because I had actually it's a great Jaggy. He's the first monster in the game. I probably didn't have to run. I didn't have any armor, but great Jaggy doesn't really matter. But a different but again, I was on a gathering run, and I was mining up in the Rathalos nest. And now the Rathalos, if you're not prepared, will kill you. It hits hard. It breathes fire. It can poison you. It can stomp you, grab you with its teeth. It's really mean. It's also hard to hit because it spends a lot of time in the air, which makes sense because it's a dragon. But anyway, so I walk out. Great Jaggy, not Jagras. Sorry. Yeah. So I'm up in the Rathalos nest on my hands and knees. No, not hands and knees. I'm mining, and I hear whoosh, whoosh. All the ambient noise, all the birds stop chirping, the crickets stop singing. It's quiet except for the music fades out, and you hear the big wing beats. And I'm like, oh no, I'm wearing my gathering gear. If Rathalos hits me, I'm going to die. I don't even have a decent weapon on me. So I'm in the corner of the cave where the Rathalos nest is, and I just crouch. And the Rathalos lands on its nest, and I'm crouched over in the corner by the mining node, looking at the Rathalos. I'm like, I am a rock. I'm just a rock, ignore me. You don't see me, I'm just a rock. And this Rathalos is looking around. Looking around. Looking around. It was probably only 25 seconds, but it was a tense 25 seconds. And satisfied, the Rathalos moved on, and I exhaled. That was... It's those kind of stories that make the game so much fun, because you can relay them to people who've played them and they know what you're talking about. I can't say I've had anything super memorable happen in Iceborne so far, except that turf wars are a thing in Monster Hunter World, where you will be fighting a monster and some other monster shows up and the two monsters fight each other, which is cool. Twice now in Iceborne, I've had 3 monsters in the same area just fighting each other, and I'm like, guys, would please? I had Bombero, Beatotus, and who the hell else would it have been? Was it the Viper Tobi Kadachi? Might have been. All in the same area wrestling. and it's really hard to do anything. It's hard to fight multiple monsters at once because you can only track so much at the same time. Um, at another one where I was fighting Toby Kadachi or someone, and then Anjanath wanders in, and then Puka Puke wanders. You just got one guy spitting poison. You've got one doing his paralysis attack, and the other one spitting fire and snot, and it's a mess. But it is pretty funny. Of course, later in the game, I'm sure Devil Joe will show up, and Devil Joe was always a favorite of mine in the early games because he was always reminded me of an excitable puppy that just won't calm down and does not understand when playtime is over. Like you get ready for bed and the puppy's like, puppy stuff, play with me. It's like, oh my god, go away, go lay down somewhere. It's dinner time, it's TV time, it's pay the bills time, it's a play. Devil Joe always struck me like that, just constantly play, just wandering in everywhere. When Joe wanders the map, bring dung bombs. Go away, Joe. But in Monster Hunter World, Devil Joe is in there, but the Devil Joe of Monster Hunter World is definitely Bagel Juice, or Basil Goose, the B-52 bomber of the series, who doesn't just show up unannounced or uninvited and unwanted, literally crashes your party. Like, it's a flying monster that has explosive scales, and it just will dive bomb you out of nowhere. You could be fighting another monster, you could be mining ore or something, and suddenly, dude, it just crashes and explodes. It's great. Monster Hunter World is good, and y'all should play it unless you don't like it. Then you shouldn't play it, because you shouldn't play things you don't like. Play Gears 5 instead. It's funny, my supervisor had the day off yesterday, so I was thinking maybe I'll play hooky and stay home and play Monster Hunter World all day. And then my developer sends me a pre-release build of software I have to test. I'm like, yeah, going to work. So I didn't play hooky. And I groused him about that. He's like, yeah, man, I wanted to stay home and play Gears 5, but I had to build this software for you. And I said, fine. I guess instead of playing Monster Hunter World, I'll just test your software and tell you everything you did wrong. He's like, yeah. So, but got the entire weekend to myself. Actually, after the podcast, I'm not going to be playing Monster Hunter World till later tonight because I have to test a few things for the Extra Life charity event, which is November 2nd, Saturday, November 2nd? Let me double check that. Yep, starts at noon, Saturday, November 2nd. For those that don't know, I play video games as part of the Extra Life charity event. Play video games for 24 hours to raise money for the Rady Children's Hospital here in San Diego. It's part of the Children's Miracle Network Hospitals. And so 24-hour game marathons, a lot of fun. I will have, this year, I will be playing last year it was Breath of the Wild is what I played primarily for the entire event. This year I'll be trading off between two titles. So maybe 2 or 3 hours on one title, then switch to the next one, then back to the first, and so on and so forth. So 2 major titles. There will be stretch goals for an After Dark game, a mature game. Last year we played Senran Kagura Reflections for the mature After Dark game. And I just got a game that I'm going to play a little bit of and see if it is worthy of the After Dark stretch goal. So, also I just bought a HDMI switcher so that I can actually just switch between PS4 and Switch instead of yanking the HDMI cable from one thing and putting it into the other. That'll make my setup a lot easier. I'm also trying to get a second monitor that will also help doing streams so that I don't have to squish everything onto one monitor. Which, if you've watched streams in the past, you'll notice when I futz with something, you'll see the windows move around. It's because I have to have everything laid out like a weird puzzle on my desktop. So that because I have to do screen captures. You know, I have to capture this portion of the screen for the game, this portion for the timer, and this portion for this, and this portion here. But I can't have anything cover up anything else because then the view sneaks into its window. So yeah. If you want to make a super early donation, go to extra-life.com/participant/Andrew Eisen. Already raised $50. We're going for $2,000 this year. We raised 1,800 last year, so I thought that was a good goal for this year, 2,000. So keep an eye on my Twitter or that page. I have a Facebook page set up, or the fundraiser page on my Facebook. So if you follow me on Facebook, you can keep your eye on that page. I'll have updates in the coming weeks as far as what games I'll be playing, what the stretch goals are, if there are any bidding wars. Still working out the details and that kind of stuff. But I'm really excited for this year's marathon. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So that's it for me. I hope you're all having an excellent weekend, and follow me on Twitter at Andrew Eisen. Plug my name into YouTube. You find my videos there. And until next week, friends, have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.